Oh man, I love Doctor Who comics. As you can see, I love them all in all forms, every Doctor. They're just fun comics. I will be honest, I've bought a lot of Doctor Who comics over the last few years, and I've read very few of them. But that all changed today. But I should give you a little bit of history. I got into collecting comics with this book right here. This was Marvel's Doctor Who #1. I saw it in a store, saw this crazy cover price of $1.50, and it blew my mind. I think comics were 60 cents at the time. And when I purchased it, the guy I bought it from explained to me that this is a valuable comic and this is a collector's edition, as I think it says right there. So that's kind of what got me into collecting comics. And so because Doctor Who is what started me down this crazy path of collecting comics, I've been sticking with Doctor Who comics ever since. So I just recently wrapped up reading all 3 issues of The Road to the 13th Doctor. It was a mini-series where each issue focused on a different Doctor. So the first issue focused on the 10th Doctor. And it follows the 10th Doctor here and 2 companions that... two companions I'm not really familiar with. Their names are Gabby and Cindy. There is a funny little bit here where the Doctor, he says, "And I'm the Doctor, and these are my associates, R2 and 3PO. I'll let you work out which is which." That's funny. It's a funny little bit, but that's kind of the problem I have with the book. It's funny. There's just too much funny and not enough scary and not enough real story to the book. It's a bit goofy at times. It's very predictable, and frankly, it wasn't very interesting. And then there's this bit. Where was it? Let's see. There's this bit. They get separated. They got their Scooby-Doo style trap. Like, you go this way, we'll go that way. And the companions run to the TARDIS. And there's a scene where it implies something's wrong with the TARDIS, but it's never really explained as to what actually happened with the TARDIS. That something's wrong. Nothing's really ever explained. I don't know, it just wasn't clear to me. The story just wasn't captivating. It felt like Doctor Who, but not good Doctor Who. It felt like very surface, kind of silly Doctor Who. Didn't have the heart or the storytelling that you would expect from Doctor Who. But however, with the backup story, the Road to story, this was good. This opens up during the events of one of my favorite episodes, The Girl in the Fireplace. The Doctor's coming back from the party, and he's walking through the ship with his horse, if you remember the episode, and then this thing happens, this vortex appears, and this hand reaches out. "Grab on! I can't hold!" And then the hand just kind of disappears. But the Doctor's called away to resolve the issues of the episodes. This is kind of like a little footnote to that Girl in the Fireplace episode. Again, not much really happened in the main story of the book. Great cover. Not much happened in the main story. However, that backup story kind of laid groundwork for what we're going to see going forward as it spreads across space and time. Hello. Boom! I read the second issue as well. This was a Matt Smith 11th Doctor episode. It's set in San Francisco, comic. It's set in San Francisco in 1896. The Doctor and someone named Alice, which is another comic book character companion, they find themselves in San Francisco and they see these robots. Of course, there weren't robots back in 1896. So, obviously there's a mystery that needs to be solved, and the Doctor is on it. There's more going on than the previous issue, but not a lot. This was still kind of a surface story. It felt like any other Doctor Who story, and the art's good, but the Doctor's face feels very cut and paste, almost to the point where we're seeing the same expressions more than once in the story. So I wasn't thrilled with the art, and the story was kind of stale. However, let's jump back into the back of the book with our backup story. Again, this is again by what was it? Who's working on this? Jody Hauser and Rachel Stott. This story is set during the episode. What was it called? It was one of the black boxes show up, The Power of Three, where the Doctor has to experience time like everybody else, and he's bored. Now, he's distracted when it happens, but the hand appears in this story as well. Grab on! I can't hold! So that's kind of the running theme of these backup stories, this hand that appears. The storytelling art in the backup story is so far superior to the main story. So I'm thinking that the Jody Hauser and Rachel Stott is the team we're going to see in the upcoming 13th Doctor comic series. I'm hoping for that because they're doing a great job. Now, of all the 3 issues, this one was the best. This was issue 3. This was the 12th Doctor, who was And to be honest, he's my favorite of the current Doctors. And his story was a little richer, was a little better, and I think part of it had to do with the fact that his companion was Bill Potts. It wasn't one of the made-up comic book companions, and Kate Stewart shows up. So the story feels very much set in the Doctor Who universe, or at least the Doctor Who television universe that we experience. The art, again, is a little stiff. I'm getting the impression they're just kind of drawing over pictures. However, the story itself, the storytelling, it does feel a little bit more, like I said, of what you expect in the series. The basic story is this: another alien accidentally causing harm to Earth, and it's up to the Doctor to stop it. It felt like a very condensed version of something you would have seen in Peter Capaldi's last season, with some crazy visuals that you can only get in comic books. It was good. It was good. And it was closer to the source material than I would say the other two issues were, in that it, like I said before, it felt like Doctor Who. Now, jumping in to the backup story by Hauser and Stott, okay, we're finding ourselves in one of my personal favorite episodes, at least favorite two-part episodes of Doctor Who. This is, we see the Doctor, Nardo, and Bill in the lift. This is the episode, I think it was called World Enough in Time. This is the one where Bill gets shot and she's taken to the Cybermen. And our story finds, like I say, Missy, Nardo, and the Doctor in the lift on their way to go rescue Bill. And what happens? We'll get to that in a second. What happens? The hand appears again, saying the same thing. Grab on, I can't hold. But of course, the Doctor's on his way to rescue Bill and can't deal with that now. That I did just notice this as I'm flipping through the book. This panel, these two panels are the exact same art, just kind of rearranged. That's the same Missy, that's the same Nardo, and that's the same Doctor, just kind of turned and rearranged. It's a shortcut. I can forgive it because the art is so good in these backup stories, especially the coloring. The coloring on the characters is great. So again, I'm hoping that's what we're going to see in the 13th Doctor series that's coming up. These all three kind of make the main stories aren't tied together, but the backup stories are tied together. And I will say, it's hard for me to recommend these to anybody who's not a Doctor Who fan. There's not really a point to these stories outside of the backup stories. But with those backup stories, they're clearly setting something up that's going to happen in the forthcoming 13th Doctor comic series. And after watching the first episode, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, I am so excited to see what happens next. After that first episode, I've quickly become a fan of the 13th Doctor, and I'm looking forward to what the series brings and what the comics series brings as well. Like I said, I can't recommend it to the average comic reader. However, I think a Doctor Who fan might enjoy them. So if you haven't checked out these comics and you're a Who fan, these could be a great way to dip your toe into the comics, or you could just wait for the 13th Doctor series. And I think that already launched. I have this right here. I think this is 0 issue of the 13th Doctor series. I haven't opened it up yet or even checked out what's inside of it. It's next on my to-read stack. I'm going to read it real soon. But so that's about it. Yeah, I'm excited about what they're doing with the 13th Doctor in the comics. And if you like these books, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button, the like button, and then go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you're subscribed to our channels. And then you got to make sure you hit that bell icon so you'll be notified when we upload our next videos, because we got a bunch of videos coming up. I guess that's about it. Until next time, hey, I'll see you in the TARDIS.